The manhwa begins in a room. Our girl Yuna is being intimate with Soo-hyuk. Few months ago. Our girl is seen in a restaurant where she works as a chef. She's cooking presently. She's done and decides to pack the lunchbox. Her body can't move again. She hears calming her down, saying that the door is already locked. Suddenly, the food that she's cooking falls to the floor. She's scared. She can hear someone asking if this isn't a restaurant. On the signpost, it read that they specialized in delivery reservation. She falls down frustrated, the food she was cooking laying beside her. Back then, the palpitations in her body were scary, but now, lying on the white sheets, she thinks about her dream of what a romance is like in movies. A cocktail in a dimly lit room with a mysterious atmosphere. A hand around her waist. Lovers swaying slowly, holding each other to a blues rhythm. She wonders if she would have believed it if someone told her back then. She decides to make that dream come true soon. She holds his face, looking intently at him. He's awake now. She asks him if she woke him up. He asks her what she was thinking that made her look at him like that. She tells him that she was thinking about the time before she met him. Kissing her, he asks her if it is better now. She says yes. He's happy to hear that. When he first came into this country, there really wasn't anything she liked. At the airport, when he landed, he met an official who was sharing his personal information, and he didn't like it. The man tells him that his son also lives in New York. The male lead isn't interested. He tells the man that he should hurry up, that he has to leave. He isn't interested in stories. He took his stuff and left. The man tells him to enjoy Korea. As expected, he's too lazy to even answer that. As he walks away, he remembers his main purpose, to look for his real parents in Korea. He steps outside and boards a taxi. Back to present. He hugs our girl and tells her that he is amazed that he didn't find what he was looking for, but he met her instead. New York, United States. Scene shows the male lead walking on the street to his house. He's deep in thoughts. The human body is honest. 3 days of sleepless nights. When your life's in on the line every minute and every second, fatigue builds up. You become vulnerable to hunger and stress, which makes you more sensitive. So even if there is no emotions towards the other person, in situations like this, it's almost laughable. He walks into his house and sees his girlfriend with another guy being intimate. He asks them if he should wait outside a little longer. The girl is surprised to see him. She calls on to him, but he leaves to the sitting room. Immediately, he calls the cleaning center, telling them to come and disinfect his house. He offers to pay double if they come fast. The quickly rushes out to him and explains, telling him that she was so bored. She continues, telling him that she loved him so much, tried so hard, and expressed it. She complains that he didn't even give her a glance, let alone hug her. Instead, he just gave her a room and treated her like a tenant. She tells him not to look at her as an unfaithful woman. She continues, telling him that he doesn't understand love, that he is just scared. That's why he can only love himself. He replies, telling her that she is obviously overflowing with love. That's why she is misbehaving like that in his house. He switches on the TV, and he is first greeted with the news of an incident that claimed the life of some students in school. A student who was being bullied brought a gun one day and killed his classmates and shot himself too. He died 3 days later. He immediately shuts it off. He is tired of hearing such news. Prosody 7%. The guy in the room is trying to tiptoe out, but the male lead sees him. He tells him to take the girl with him. That's the polite thing to do. The girl can't believe her ears. After some seconds, she decides to leave, but she tells him that she has some advice for him. She tells him that he is not normal, that he should see a psychiatrist. She continues, telling him to look at the life he is leaving. He has no friends, no colleagues, that he is so scared of getting abandoned that he doesn't want anyone to be close. She reminds him that she is a competent lawyer, so she knows that that is his defense mechanism. She tells him that if he continues like that, he will end up alone forever. The other guy asks if he has to be polite. He really wants to leave. He doesn't want to stay there and listen to them talking. The girl continues, telling him that she knows that he was abandoned by his biological parents in Korea and had a hard life as an adoptee, but that doesn't mean he should become so heartless. He asks jokingly if she is now the doctor and making prescriptions for him. She tells him to stop acting like a child because he always sees sick kids. Wearing her shoes, she tells him that she tried to understand him, adding that no one could do what she did for him. He agrees with saying that no one would recklessly roll around with a stranger in his house the way she did, so she is right. He tells her to get out of his house if she is done with her grand speech, that he doesn't want to disinfect her with his money. She calls him coward, wishing he'd get struck by lightning and die. He drags her out of his house. Later that evening, he goes to meet with an old lady, Kate. They're having coffee. Looking at him with a sad face because of what he told her, she tells him that she is fine, irrespective of her face. She tells him that the hospital would miss him more. The hospital and his young patients wouldn't let him go so easily. He tells her that the exchange program has been requested from that side for a while, that the Christmas presents have already been sent to the wards. He tells her that he is worried about leaving her alone. She asks him why she is the only one he is worried about when there are a lot of people in the nursing home. She tells him that he doesn't let anyone close, so she is worried he'd be lonely. She asks him if he has ever thought about finding his biological parents in Korea. He's silent. She tells him that maybe she doesn't have the right to say that, because she had played a big part in him developing this defense mechanism towards others. She thinks back to when he was just a little kid. The memories come rushing in. Kate and her husband, Danny, are in the middle of another argument, this time about the boy. Danny is furious that she brought him into their home. He keeps saying they don't have enough money to take care of another person, that things are already tight. The argument goes on for a while, voices rising, frustration spilling out. Then, just like that, Danny storms out, slamming the door behind him. But the boy hears everything, every harsh word, every accusation, and that's just the beginning. Danny never hides his resentment, and over time, his anger turns into something worse. The boy becomes a target for his frustration. The bruises, he covers them up with quick lies. Oh, just another fight at school, nothing serious. It becomes a pattern, a secret he carries alone. The divorce drags on, a slow, painful process. But by the time it's finally over, something has changed. The boy who once looked up at Kate with bright, hopeful eyes is gone. By the time she realizes it, he's already stepped out the door, disappearing into a world where she might never reach him again. Back to present. She asks him if the exchange program is 2 years. She asks him if he would still use the name Matthew in Korea. He says no, that he doesn't want to stand out like that, so he'd use the Korean name, Soo-hyuk. She smiles as she approves of it, saying that it's been a while since she heard that name. Years ago, the orphanage director she volunteered at introduced the name so confusingly that she was embarrassed. Korean kids were lined up in front of her. The only thing she remembered the moment she saw his face was his name. Later, he introduced himself as Soo-hyuk. She was impressed that he spoke so confidently in English, introducing himself with his first name. Back to present. His phone rings and he tells her that it's a call from the hospital. She tells him to take it. She bids him farewell, telling him to have a nice trip. He walks away from the cafe into a car and drives off. Korea. Scene shows a restaurant. Our girl is in the kitchen cooking. A small boy comes in and asks her what today's side dish is. She tells him that it's her special sauce. The boy jumps up happily as he runs out of the kitchen. She can hear him saying that she is the best and that he can perceive what she is cooking from outside. She smiles as she is happy to hear that. She praises her cooking and wishes that her dishes would spread all over to the United States so that she will become rich. The human body is honest, a constant stream of emergency patients, on-call duty, emergency cases, another on-call shift. It's been 2 weeks since the male lead arrived Korea. What wears him down is also the honesty of his body. No time to eat, no time to sleep. But that's nothing new. He went through worse in the United States, so it's fine. It's early in the morning, and he's walking to work. He's thinking about his predicament. More than all the stress, Korean food doesn't really agree with him. He wonders why all the food have to spicy and salty, spicy and hot, and also spicy and sweet. He doesn't like all of these. He wonders why they have to make it so spicy. He's tired of surviving only on hamburgers and sandwiches. He walks past our girl's restaurant. He checks his time and sees that it's 6 a.m. He remembers that around this time he often sees a small framed woman entering there, carrying enormous bags that looks like ingredients. If one passes by here again an hour later, the smell coming from there is absolutely divine. He walks to the door, thinking that with the smell he is perceiving, maybe he'd be able to eat it. But he feels it's not a normal restaurant because the notice on the door is always on, preparing. And for a place that is preparing, it doesn't seem to have any menu or seating. He opens the door slowly and looks inside. Our girl notices someone opening the door and she hides behind the curtain with a pot ready to pounce. He asks if anyone is there. He really can't see well inside. Our girl stays still, silent, waiting. Then he turns back and walks away, deciding to come back later. Our girl watches him walk away. She tries to calm down, assuring herself that nothing bad would happen. She feels he might probably be curious. Then she checks her time and discovers that it's already 10 minutes past 6. She isn't happy that she has wasted 10 minutes. It's always very precious in the morning. She quickly rushes to the table and begins to prepare today's lunch. 95 regular boxes plus 3 super specials. She bursts into a song as she started cooking. She puts on the radio to listen to music at S Teaching Hospital where the male lead works. He's having an exchange of words with a colleague, Dr. Jong. He's scolding the doctor for coming in this early and smelling of cigarettes and alcohol. The doctor tells him that he went to the dinner organized by Professor Park, saying that doctors from S University were required to attend, that he didn't even drink much. The male lead tells him that he didn't ask, and he's not curious to know either. He adds that the doctor should keep his distance because he smells like alcohol and cigarettes. The doctor replies that he is doing too much, telling him that he is a third-year resident doctor with juniors on his own, and doctors practically live in the hospital. He is of the opinion that he didn't cause any medical accident. He complains to the male lead that he is being too harsh in front of medical staffs and the patients. The male lead asks him if he knows where he is working, telling him that it's the S University in South Korea. Dr. Jong looks at him, replying that he is also an S University graduate. In his mind, he doesn't care if the male lead was the youngest chief in H University in the United States. This is S University. To him, a mere 2 years visiting emergency specialist is nothing more than a newcomer. The male lead decides to tell him the nature of the workplace. It's a pediatric emergency room, a place where desperate children and their families come, that their lives and pain depends on him. He asks if he thinks it's easy for someone like that to complain that the smell of alcohol and cigarettes is so bad that it feels like their nose is about to fall off. Dr. Jong is totally embarrassed. People around could hear them. 2 staff stay by the corner gossiping about him. He tries to save his face by telling the male lead that it isn't right for him to humiliate him over something that could have been a mistake. The male lead asks him if considering the young patients isn't taken important in Korea. He has some rules in the pediatric emergency room. The first rule is that one must not come inside there smelling like alcohol and cigarettes. The next one is if the person must, he should go to a sauna or something. He tells him that he is slow to respond, that means he is practically useless. That it is better her takes his shift too. He also adds that medical accidents are unacceptable, that one mistake could ruin a child's life, so he shouldn't even joke about it. Dr. Jong looks at him. He's supposed to be an American. He wonders why he has a sharp tongue and foul language. He really wants to meet the male lead's parents. The door opens and Professor Park walks in, asking the reason for the noise he is heading. The male lead greets him and tells him that he just pointed to the doctor that his alcohol stench is unbearable. Dr. Jong asks the professor if he didn't host a dinner yesterday, saying that he didn't have the time to shower or change because of the patients this morning. He tells him that the male lead told him to stop down from his shift this morning because of the smell. The professor is angry. He asks the male lead, who gave him the authority to adjust schedules without any approval, that they already have a lot of patients. The male lead tells him that the children are sick and it would be hard for them to put up with such a foul smell. He tells him that this is a hospital where hygiene is trust and trust is life. He adds that he didn't tell Dr. Jeong to step down, he continues, saying that it doesn't matter if the doctor is late to respond or smells bad, he will take on the shifts himself. The professor wonders what is wrong with the male lead. He also notices that he had never for once seen him at his dinner party. He tells him that he will have to take responsibility for his words. The male lead replies that he doesn't say things that he can't back up. The male lead just finishes his statement when a nurse rushes over, looking urgent. There's an emergency. He doesn't waste time and immediately asks what's going on. The nurse quickly explains, a 12-year-old boy is on his way in. Severe bleeding from his nose and mouth. Apparently he ran straight into a wall while playing. He'll be here in 5 minutes. Without hesitation, the male lead gives instructions. He tells the nurse exactly where the boy should be taken, what needs to be done first, and makes sure someone contacts his guardians right away. Every second counts in situations like this, and he's not about to waste any. Meanwhile, just a few feet away, Dr. Jeong is standing quietly next to the professor. He's been observing the male lead, watching how he handles the situation with sharp focus and authority. Then, almost out of nowhere, he turns to the professor and asks if he should really go to a sauna now. His voice is casual, but the timing is almost comedic, completely out of sync with the urgency happening right in front of him. As he talks, the professor suddenly catches a whiff of something unpleasant. His nose wrinkles, and he instinctively leans back just a little. The smell is strong, sharp, and honestly, a little too much for the emergency unit. He doesn't hold back and tells him straight up, this is embarrassing. He can't just walk around smelling like this, especially in a hospital. He needs to do something about it, and fast. Then, as if switching topics completely, the professor makes another point. If someone travels all the way from another country to work here, they should be allowed to do things their way. No unnecessary restrictions, no micromanaging. Let them work how they want, as long as they get the job done. His voice carries across the room as he calls out to the male lead. There's a knowing look in his eyes, a mixture of amusement and exhaustion. Today is going to be a long one, and he knows it. There's no escaping it now. Later that day, at our girl's shop, things are finally starting to slow down. Well, just a little. She steps outside with the last set of lunch orders, handing them over to the delivery guy. A small smile plays on her lips as she thanks him for always doing a great job delivering the food on time. The delivery guy grins and tells her he thought she'd take longer today. He's actually surprised she managed to get everything ready so quickly. It's been a busy day, after all. She laughs lightly, thanking him again as he hops onto his bike and drives off, disappearing down the street. With a deep breath, she turns around and heads back inside. The kitchen still smells amazing, but the rush from earlier has left the place feeling a little chaotic. She shakes her head. Today's orders took way longer than usual because there were just so many of them. But there's no time to rest yet. There are still 3 special lunchboxes she needs to prepare, and those need to be perfect. Rolling up her sleeves, she gets back to work, ready to give them her full attention. 1 year ago. She was looking for a space, and an agent shows her current place. She accepts that it's nice, and she also notices that it's cheap also. He agrees, advising her to take it, that she won't see any other place that good with such a price. He tells her to sign the contract before going. She does so. After singing the contract, she later found out after opening the store. Some people in the neighborhood are surprised that someone have rented the desolate space. They wonder if the business would stay up to a year. This spot was known as the so-called cursed spot of the neighborhood, where everywhere business closed within a year. Back to present, our girl feels that no matter what people say, she likes the spot. She even got a lot of regulars now. This is her second independent space in life, a place where she can do what she is good at, and what she loves most to her heart's content. It's a space where she can do what she wants. She tastes the food and discovers that it's so nice. A small boy rushes in calling her auntie. He's Minjun, her nephew. They both hug each other. He tells her that his father is taking him to Gwanghwang Port. She is happy for him. He tells her that his father also promised to take him to Suncheon Bay too if he have time. He tells her that he is excited to go there, the same way he is excited to get her lunchbox. She gives him the food to taste and give her the guest day a customer review. The boy looks at the box and begins to mention everything inside. He knows the ingredients by heart. At that moment, Minjun's parents walk in. His mother notices the sweet smell and comments that this is what her husband, Yoon-jae, likes. Yoon-jae perceives it and confesses that it smells nice. The two ladies hug themselves. Our girl tells her that she missed her. Yoon-jae is surprised. They both saw themselves 3 days ago also. They are always texting. Minjun's mother calls on her husband to come and take a look at the lunch. She is impressed by our girl's cooking. Our girl announces that she made it less spicy so that Minjun would be able to eat it. Yoon-jae thanks her, calling her little sister. He tells her that even if she was busy, she still created time to make lunch for them. He knows that they'll enjoy it. Our girl replies that it has been long since he made time for family trip, so she wanted to help out. She tells him to consider it as a bribe to go often. Minjun comes closer to her and asks her about the special order from a customer. He wants to see it. She shows it to him, telling him that he must eat all the vegetables. He orders for another dish, and she tells him to hold on for a while so that she would prepare it. Yoon-jae tells her not to worry, that they already have enough lunchboxes. She replies that she have left over of that ingredient, so it would be done in no time. He tells her that she really takes after their mother, both in cooking and personality. She replies that she is amazed to hear that, adding that she doesn't even remember their mother. She tells him that it's okay, that when she was young, he was the only family she had, but now she has his wife and kid too. Giving him the food, she tells him that if he is tired or his knees hurt, he should stop driving for a while. He smiles, commenting that she's nagging much. His wife immediately chips in, saying that our girl is right. She adds that these days her nagging doesn't move him anymore. That's why she wants our girl to do the talking. Yoon-jae tells them that he is very happy that his wife and our girl got along very well. He tells them that he have to start going because he have to go to work tomorrow. Our girl advises him not to talk about work today, since it's his family special trip day. As she sees them off outside, she discovers that he's with another car. She asks him about it. He tells her that his big truck is hard to move around, so he rented this small one for today. She bids them farewell and watches them drive off. She steps back inside, letting out a small sigh as she looks around. The place is a mess, and even though she's exhausted, she knows she can't just leave it like this. Rolling up her sleeves, she gets to work, wiping down the counters, sweeping the floor, and making sure everything is spotless. By the time she's done, she feels the weight of the day settling into her bones. Out of habit, she glances at the clock and realizes it's almost 3 p.m. No wonder she feels so drained. She hasn't eaten anything in hours. Her stomach growls in protest, and she knows she needs food fast. She pushes open the shop door, letting in some fresh air. The breeze feels nice, cooling down the warmth that's built up inside. Her mind quickly shifts to food. There's still some of the meal she made for Minjun left over. That should be good enough. And if she adds a cup of coffee, perfect. The thought makes her smile. Simple, but exactly what she needs right now. But just as she's about to head to the kitchen, something makes her freeze. Right there, standing in front of her, is the male lead. Her breath catches, and for a second she wonders if she's imagining things. But no, he's real, and he's looking right at her. Her eyes narrow slightly as she studies him. It takes a moment, but then it clicks. She recognizes him. She saw him earlier. But what is he doing here now? Her heart starts pounding. A wave of panic rises in her chest, but she quickly tells herself to stay calm. He isn't here to hurt her. If that was his intention, he would have done something the moment the door opened. She takes a slow breath, reminding herself of what she practiced. Stay in control. Don't let fear take over. Still, she can't hide the unease in her eyes. He notices it immediately. His gaze sharpens for a moment, then softens. Instead of doing anything threatening, he simply asks if she's all right. His voice is steady, not harsh, not demanding. Just curious. He even tells her to take a deep breath, says it will help. For a second, she hesitates. Then she does what he says. A deep inhale, a slow exhale, and just like that, the tension in her chest eases. It actually works. She nods quickly, forcing out a small, "I'm okay." There's a pause. He studies her as if making sure she really means it. Then, in a completely unexpected turn, he asks her if she is open for business. She blinks. Of all the things he could have said, she wasn't expecting that. She looks at him, still not able to speak. She feels he is so handsome, but from her perspective, standing right in front of the door like that is a little scary. She tries to calm herself down, remembering what she practiced. She tells him that she sells lunchboxes. He asks her how much it is. From there, he can perceive the smell, and he comments that it smells good. She sees looking about and feels that he must be really hungry. She immediately switches to professional mode. She tells him that she is done for today, and she only take online reservations for lunchboxes. She asks if he would like to take her business card. He refuses immediately. Disappointment is written all over his face, and she can see it. He decides to leave and begin to turn around sadly. As he walks away, she begins to feel guilty. She quickly runs inside. Meanwhile, the male lead is already on his way, thinking of what he's going to eat. He wonders if he should settle for bread. He feels it'll be nice if there's a bakery around. While still deep in his thoughts, our girl runs to him, telling him to wait. He turns as she stops in front of him, trying to catch her breath. She offers him a bag containing a lunchbox, telling him that she made the pork cutlet sandwich for herself, that it's of a quality that could easily be sold. She urges him to give it a try. She tells him that she have attached her company sticker to the bag, so if he likes it, he can order again next time. She adds that the lunchboxes she makes officially are more tastier than this. He looks at her without saying anything. She's dying to get a reaction from him. At last, he smiles and asks her what is in the sandwich. She tells him that it is domestic pork that's marinated in milk and deep-fried to crispy perfection with her secret sauce, with shredded cabbage. She tells him that it was also added to the fresh bread she got this morning. She continues, saying that the secret sauce is her company's secret. He asks her why she is giving it to him for free, adding that he has money. She wonders if she has hurt his pride. She misunderstood that he was hungry, so she tells him to see this one as a tasting sample to secure customers, that if he searches for her store online, he will find blogs. He collects it and removes money from his pocket and gives to her, telling her that if the food is bad or he gets food poisoning after paying, he will officially make a complaint. She tells him that it will be better if he comes to her store instead of making the complaint online. She introduces herself as Yoon-ah, the owner of a delicious meal. She gives him the change, telling him that she can confidently say he'd become a regular. He collects and replies that he hopes that happens. They go their separate ways. Later that day, back at his place, he finally gets a moment to breathe. Work was exhausting, and all he wants is a hot shower to wash away the stress. Without wasting time, he heads straight to the bathroom, letting the warm water relax his tense muscles. Feeling refreshed, he steps out and remembers the food he brought home earlier. He grabs it, takes a bite, and pauses for a second. Not bad. Actually, it's pretty good. At least he survived. No food poisoning, so that's a win. Now seems like the perfect time for a nap. His body is screaming for rest. But as he looks around, reality hits him. The place is a mess. Sure, he tries to keep things tidy, but lately, it's been impossible. The laundry pile is growing at an alarming rate, proof of his emergency overtime shifts and back-to-back all-nighters. Lately, he's barely had time to do anything besides shower and crash into bed, and now he's completely out of clean clothes. Just great. He needs to get his life together, starting with some recycling. And while he's at it, he should drop off his clothes at the dry cleaner and take care of everything properly. If he doesn't do it now, it'll only get worse. It's already 5:30 when he finally opens his eyes. Blinking a few times, he stares at the ceiling, still weak from his nap. How did time fly so fast? It's almost dinner. As his mind clears, he suddenly remembers something. Her words. The way she confidently told him that he'd definitely become a regular. He scoffs lightly, but at the same time realizes she might be right. Because right now, he wants to eat there again. He stretches lazily, still not quite ready to get up. But then something important hits him. Where's the bag? The food bag from earlier? His eyes widen slightly as he tries to remember. Oh no, he had thrown it in the recycling without even thinking. Still sprawled out on the bed, he groans, rubbing his face. Great, now he has no reference. What was the name of the place again? He racks his brain trying to recall the details. A delicious meal? Yeah, that was it. And the owner? Yoon-ah. He repeats it in his head a few times. A delicious meal? Yoon-ah. If he wants to eat there again, he better not forget. Early the next morning, the male lead is on his way to work. He's on call with a private investigator. He's seeking to know what progress has been made in finding his parents. The investigator tells him that they have made little progress because it's a very old matter, and also the information he gave to them is very limited. So the chances of finding them is low. He tells the investigator that he has paid, so they should at least try something. He ends the call. He is doing this because of Kate. He wonders if there's any reason to find them. He feels he is already an adult. The time when he needed protection, the most was awful, but it's in the past. He feels he doesn't need any familial affection anymore. Kate had apologized for divorcing Danny late. She knows that her lingering feelings had added to his suffering. She cried as she apologized. Back to present. He feels it doesn't mean much. He will only look for them during his 2 years in Korea. The possibility of finding them is low, just like the private investigator said. He barely remembers anything. He feels there's no need to tell Kate about this. If his biological parents are like Danny, if they sold him off or abandoned him on the street, Kate would be so sad. As he walks, he finds himself in front of our girl's shop. Coincidentally, she's also reaching there with some bags of ingredients. She sees him and is surprised at first. She calls out to him and asks him why he is here so early. She asks if he is missing her sandwiches already. He answers yes immediately. He answers so quickly that she feels awkward and proud at the same time. She doesn't know what to say. He sees her bag and decides to help her, saying that it's so heavy. She refuses his help, saying that she is really strong. She walks to the door and asks him if he had ordered from the blog. She asks him for his name. He tells her his name, Soo-hyuk. She looks at him. She's a bit surprised, but she feels he is actually really handsome, and his voice also matches his face. He tells her that he accidentally threw away her business card, so he wasn't able to place an order. He asks for it again. He asks her if she offers delivery, and she says yes, that's the only thing they do. He requests to see her business license. She looks surprised. From her looks, he asks her if she doesn't have one. She looks at him, wondering if he is the kind of person one can call a tough cookie. She tells him that it's not hard to show him, that he'd see it right away if she opens the door. As she's about to open it, she hesitates a bit. She's thinking about being alone inside the shop with him. She tells herself not to be scared, that she greeted him loudly earlier, so people around the shop and pedestrians must have noticed them. He sees her hesitates and asks her if she is not confident. Acting tough, he asks her if he ate food from an unlicensed shop. She looks at him and smiles. He has such a spiteful face to go with these spiteful words. She notices that even though he is cold and cheeky, it seems like he won't move without her permission. She have decided to change little by little, so this an opportunity. She opens the door and points to the wall that displays her license and certificates. She gives him the permission to check it out. As he enters inside, she decides that it would be safe if she leaves the door open. She tells him that in addition to the license, she have certificate in different cuisines. She tells him that the shop have been open for a year, but she has been in business for about 3 years. She asks him if he can clearly see the store's name and her name written boldly. He can see it. Removing her card, she tells him that she'd give it to him again, that he should make sure to order through there next time. He tries to memorize her name as he sees some paintings on the wall. He asks her if it's her hobby, telling her that it's so elegant. She thanks him for the compliment. He collects the card, wondering if a child drew it. He asks her if he can make his order now and collect it later, telling her that his workplace isn't far away. She tells him that it won't be possible, that they're strictly on reservation, that she prepares exactly the right amount of ingredients and sells out every day. He tells her he understands and turns to go. As he leaves, she tells him not to forget to place his order the next day, and also not to misplace the business card. He stops suddenly. She asks if he forgot something. He asks her what would happen if someone desires something that already belongs to someone else. She doesn't understand. He asks her what she thinks of people who cut line. She's surprised by that question, but answers though. She tells him that she sees that kind of person as bad person. He says okay, telling her that he'd come later around past 12. She doesn't understand. He tells her that she just called him a bad person and he'd gladly accept that. He drops money on the table and tells her that he'd come back later for the change. After this, he walks out quickly before she could say a word. As he leaves, she begins to process what just happened. She can't believe it. She wonders if it was so delicious that he wants to cut in line for her food too. She wonders what he is doing. She wonders if he is a celebrity, judging from the way he talks. But no, he said his workplace is nearby. She doesn't want to waste her time thinking. She is always busy in the morning. She wonders if she should show him the best lunchbox she has. At the male lead's workplace, a nurse announces an emergency that's incoming. The nurses rushes the patient inside the ward. It's a 9-year-old child who just had an accident. They explain everything he needs to know about her injury. He asks them if the child has any family. The nurse replies that the family was also involved in the accident and the parents are unconscious. An emergency surgery is going on now. The phones of the victims got damaged in the accident, so getting in touch with other family members would be delayed a bit. He tells them to get in touch with the family as soon as possible. He also tells the nurse to get blood and call radiology for an exam. She rushes off to carry it out. As he tries to do an IV on the child, 2 medical interns are standing there. One of them requests to do it instead, that they're here to practice, and they want to learn too. The male lead tells him to do it on his body first. He continues, saying that he shouldn't dare to poke a hurt child with that mosquito-like voice and dead fish eyes. He tells them to go and do something else, saying that if they waste time and something happens to the child, they should be ready to explain when the child's parents come. The 2 interns immediately leave to the radiology department. On their way, the one that talked asks the other one why he didn't say anything. The other one replies that he was quiet because he doesn't want to be scolded in weirdly crispy Korean. They wonder why he speaks so weirdly. From what they heard, he's American, but the way he speaks surprises them. Back in the pediatric emergency room, the male lead asks the nurse if the results from the radiology department have arrived. She says no, that it's still in progress. An elderly woman walks to him and greets him. She introduces herself as Soo-hyuk, a volunteer responsible for Minjeon, the patient that came earlier due to the traffic accident. She tells him to just call her Mrs. So. He's surprised to hear that she is volunteering. The nurse tells him that it happens sometimes when there is no family to help, adding that their hospital has a very clean, well-run volunteer program. Examining the child, Mrs. So comments that she has a lot heard about him, that he seems to really like children, bringing the patient all the way. He replies coldly that he doesn't like them, that he's just doing his best. The woman feels his words are wise. Doing one's best is the most important thing. At that moment, the nurse announces that the results from the radiology department are ready. He decides to go see them immediately. He tells Mrs. So to take care of the child. She tells him not to worry, that she will do that. After a while, the male lead walks back with the nurse. He tells her to prepare the operating room for the child. She needs surgery immediately. He asks if any guardian has been contacted. The nurse tells him that they have contacted the patient's aunt, and she's on her way to the hospital. He tells them that the surgery needs to happen immediately, that the guardian needs to sign the consent form before he continues. Time is critical. Mrs. suggests that they shouldn't miss the golden hour, that he should get verbal consent from the guardian over the phone, and when she arrives, she should be given the form to sign. The nurse replies, calling her ma'am. This surprises the male lead. The woman immediately apologizes to him for interfering even though she isn't a doctor, that she was just offering an appropriate advice in a rush. He replies that there's no problem, that it was actually a helpful suggestion. The nurse informs him that the guardian is on the line. He goes to pick it up and explains to her that the patient needs surgery immediately. After a while, the surgery is completed. The guardian shows up at the operation unit. She asks him if her niece is okay. He explains to her that they'd need to check for infections, but the surgery went well, so she shouldn't worry too much. He tells her that once the patient regains consciousness, she will want to see her family, so she should stay with her. Mrs. Seo comforts her, telling her that everything would be fine. She adds that the male lead is their hospital's best divine doctor in the emergency room. The male lead is surprised to hear that. He decides to ignore it. He tells the guardian that if she needs anything else, she should visit the pediatric emergency room. He walks away from them. It's almost lunchtime. He needs to check on the patients and go get his lunch. As he walks back, he paces a young male doctor. He looks at his identity card and sees his name, Jo Hui-hyun from the neurosurgery department. The doctor also looks at the male lead's card and recognizes him as the popular divine doctor. Immediately, there is an emergency, and the male lead quickly rushes to the emergency room. Dr. Jo notices that he was so fast as expected of an emergency doctor. While still looking at the door, Mrs. Seo calls on him. He turns and greets her, calling her mother. He asks her how she is doing, and she tells him that she is just accompanying a patient's guardian. He introduces himself to the guardian and tells her the patient's surgery went well and her mother is regaining consciousness. Mrs. Seo advises the guardian to go check on her sister and family, that she would take care of the patient. The guardian leaves and promises to come back as soon as possible. Seo comments that the patient's mother was operated by Dr. Jo, that she feels reassured that such an excellent doctor is in charge. He smiles and replies that he feels supported because his mother, who is a skilled former nurse, is volunteering here. He tells her that everyone in the hospital knows that he's her son, so she should stop addressing him formally. She smiles and agrees to stop since there's no one else around. She tells him about the male lead, that she only saw him today, but he looks so impressive. She now understands why they call him the divine doctor if pediatric emergencies. He asks her if she said that in front of the male lead, adding that the nickname isn't really a good one. She's surprised. He tells her that the male lead has a strange temper, sharp personality, and strong fuse, so he might not like the nickname. His mother confesses that she said it in front of him, that she only wanted to praise him. He smiles and assures her that the male lead is so cool, so he might not even care about what people say about him. He asks her if she is hungry. He wants to treat her to lunch. Mrs. Seo tells him that the male lead went straight from surgery to another emergency, that he might be hungry. The doctor tells her that the male lead is famous for not accepting anything others offer, that he refuses not only group meals, but also individual offers. He adds that the male lead doesn't even drink the water the nurses and interns give to him. She comments that that behavior would be bad for his health. He tells her that they should stop talking about the male lead and go eat lunch. She replies that they're not going anywhere until the patient's aunt returns. At our girl's shop, she is seen inside trying to sort tomorrow's menu. Finally, she's done. She decides to settle for spicy, warm, boneless chicken stew. She feels Winter calls for something spicy. She'll but fresh chicken later and remove all the bones. It already sounds delicious to her. Her phone dings. She checks it and sees a message from Gyeongjo, Minjun's mother. She had told her to go pick up Minjun from school, so she is apologizing for any inconvenience. Our girl feels that she doesn't need to worry like that. She immediately replies, telling her that she will do that. She checks the time. It's past 1 already. She needs to leave by 2 to pick up Minjun from school. After that, both buses and subways would be delayed. She thinks about what would happen if she misses bus. She will have to take a taxi, and she doesn't like it because it's too cramped and dark. Just imagining it makes her feel nauseous. Her mind drifts to the male lead. She remembers him telling her that he'd come pick up the lunch by 12. She wonders where he is, and she doesn't even have his contact. She needs to leave to go pick up Minjun. She looks at her screensaver. It's his picture and the gift he gave to her. He had offered it to her the other day. It's his new work, inspired by his trip. She thanks him for it and asks if he feels bad because he wasn't able to go to Suncheon Bay. He replies that he isn't feeling bad, it's that his dad is busy since he is doing it for the family. He adds that they can even go later when the place is more beautiful. He continues, saying that the bay is best to go in autumn season when the reeds look like golden waves. She's surprised by how he speaks well. She asks him if that was written in a book. He says yes, that his parents are busy, so he reads a lot of books. He tells her that her mom always wants him to tell stories when she gets home. He continues, saying that there is something he hasn't told his mom yet, but he wants to tell her. She asks him what it is. He tells her that he wants to travel around the world, like the little prince. She asks him if he wants to be the little prince. He says no, that he doesn't want to be a prince, that he only wants to travel around the world like the little prince. She understands now. She apologizes for not understanding earlier. He tells her that it's okay, that others don't understand too, and also others don't listen the way she does. She asks him if he has a plan, since he speaks for brilliantly. He replies that he has a plan, that since she doesn't like small taxis, he intends to buy big caravan with fridge and lights everywhere, and he'll take her on all the trips. She's surprised that he intends to go with her. She adds that buying a big caravan would cost a lot of money. He tells her that she shouldn't worry about that he will earn lots of money, that she would only have to come when he asks her to. She covers her mouth, impressed. As he speaks, she sees a bruise on his arms and asks him about it. He tells her that he slipped and fell in the class, that his teacher said he was too playful. She's worried about it, and he tells her not to worry too much, that it's normal. She asks him if his mother knows about it, and he says yes, that they went to the hospital and the doctors said it's normal for a growing child. He shows her another one on his legs. She's so concerned. He tells her that he have an idea on the caravan, so he decides to draw it. That day, she decided to make him a special delicacy because of his bravery. Back to present. Our girl looks at the time. It's almost 2 o'clock. She wonders when the male lead would actually arrive. She hears a knock at the door. She feels he's seriously not a gentleman. Being this late, she intends on giving him a cold attitude. As she opens the door, he's standing there. He's on his uniform. He apologizes for being late. Her mind is in peace now. She tells him that she'd just give him the lunchbox. He enters inside and asks her if he could eat inside. She says no, that she has to head out immediately. He tells her that he'd just take 5 minutes, that if he takes it with him, he doesn't think he'd be able to eat it because he would be working. She wonders if he is a doctor. She tells him that she will give him 10 minutes, that she is busy too, and after that time she would kick him out and close her door. He thanks her and takes the food to start eating. She tells him to sit down at least. He starts eating and she watches him. She comments that he is eating well. He replies that the food is good. He continues, saying that he usually skips food because Korean meals doesn't really suit his taste. He asks her what he is eating. She explains to him what he is. He comments that it's delicious, asking for more. She asks him if he'd want it, even though it belongs to someone else. He replies that he'd gladly be a bad person. She gives him one more, and he thanks her. He asks her what tomorrow's menu is. She tells him that it's boneless, spicy chicken stew with special seasoning. He asks her if chicken stew is supposed to be spicy, begging her to make it mild, saying that he'll get a stomach ache if it's spicy. She tells him that she doesn't change her menu based on customers' preference, that if he doesn't like it, he doesn't have to order tomorrow. He asks her if she won't change it even if he leaves a tip, adding that Koreans love making money. She can't believe this. She have always thought his behavior is odd, but now this is just blatant sarcasm. She asks him where he heard it from, adding that movies portray it like that, but in reality, it's different. She asks him where exactly he is from to speak like that. He replies that he entered into an unusual country, that this place is an unusual country for him. He adds that it's even more strange than in the Korean movies he saw. She asks him if he is a Korean American. He replies that he's American. She asks him how he learned how to speak Korean. He tells her that he learnt it from an uncle in the neighborhood when he was a kid. He asks her if what he is saying is strange. She looks at his badge showing his full name. She's trying to connect it with him being American. Wearing his overcoat, he asks her if she can leave out the spicy side dishes, that he'd pick it up tomorrow by 1 p.m. She tells him that she is running a delivery-only service, so she'll deliver the lunch at his office tomorrow. She looks at him as he leaves, deep in thoughts. He's an odd guy. He's really good at annoying people, but he keeps his distance while staying within the limits. He really just stayed for just 10 minutes. A Korean-like American guy in an unusual country. The next day, in the hospital director's office, Dr. Joe is having a drink with the director. The man is his father. The man asks him if he is okay, that he heard his surgery scheduled have increased greatly. The doctor replies that everything is going well. He is thankful to the male lead whom his father worked so hard to bring. He is saving a lot of lives. He continues, saying that the surgeries just keep piling up day by day. The man replies that because of that, people are saying his son is sharper and more precise than before. It honestly makes him feel good. The doctor asks if he's going to try to keep the male lead here after the 2 years exchange program. He replies that he will try, but it won't be easy, though. The doctor asks him how he wants to do it, that even H hospital in the United States offered him a professorship poison, though rumors have it that the male lead vowed to continuing practicing till he retires. The director replies that he would have loved to use his speciality of bonding over good food and drinks, but the male lead refuses even water from others. He's really impossible to approach. The director's name is Jo Sang-young. He is seen as the hospital's second best drinker. He continues, saying that recently, even the male lead's direct superior from the emergency unit, Professor Park, invited him to a gathering but was outrightly rejected. It caused a scene. The professor grumbled endlessly about it. Dr. Joe comments that the professor's drinking habits are the worst, forcing people to drink, and when they don't want to, he'd throw his weight around. The doctor feels that drinking should be fun no matter what. The director tells him that hearing him say that makes him want to drink with him sometime. He informs him to go to his house next week, that he'd prepare some drinks. The doctor asks about his grandmother. The director tells him that she is going on a 3-day trip, so he should go freely. The doctor stands up, relieved. He comments that he likes drinking with him when his grandmother isn't around. He tells him not to go to the emergency unit today, that his mother would be there for volunteering work. He doesn't want her to feel uncomfortable. The director agrees and reminds him to stop by next week. The doctor says he would, telling him to prepare nice drinks. As Dr. Joe walks to the elevator, his mind drifts a little. Just mentioning grandmother makes his stomach churn. Flashback to years ago. He enters his brother's room and sees his mother talking to his brother's picture. He asks her what she is doing there, and she replies that she wants to say goodbye to his brother. 10 years. From when he was 5 years old, for 10 years' time in that room had stopped. His smart and kind 6-year-old brother's time and his mom's too. Every time he comes to the room, he's always meeting his mother there. She'll be speaking to his picture and tell him to leave, that she needs to be with the brother alone. Though his time kept moving forward, his mother, whose time has stopped, would never have been able to feel it. He hopes she will understand. He was afraid that if she realized the change, she will disappear. One night, she asked for divorce. She wants to leave because she's tired of them enduring her. She decides to wait so that it won't hamper her husband's future as the new director. Her husband had tried to sort things out, but she remains adamant. He had cried, wishing to follow her. He was too young to understand what was happening. Back to present. As the elevator door opens, he meets his mother there, who greets him formally. She asks him if he is going to the ER to see Minjun. They decide to go together. At the male lead's office, he's very busy on the system, a nurse comes to indulge him. She tells him that his shift has ended, asking if he's not tired. She adds that she has a nice tea for him. He replies that he already has a car and one is enough. She's lost at first, then she gets what he meant. She tells him that she isn't referring to a car, that she means drinking tea, that it helps for fatigue. He tells her that Nurse Kim should drink it, that he saw her nodding like a sick chicken earlier. He continues, saying that whether is drinking tea of pinching of thigh, one shouldn't fall asleep in front of patients. That if they really can't stay awake, they should check the bed sheets. Sometimes it's wrinkled, and most patients don't like that. That even one wrinkle can cause a discomfort to a sick child. The nurse agrees with him and tells him that she'd inform the other nurses. The head nurse calls Nurse Kim and tells her to have a tea. She's surprised. Away from the male lead, Nurse Kim is complaining about what happened earlier. She tells her colleague that she was just trying to be nice, but it turned out to be embarrassing. She confesses that he is good-looking, but he goes from formal to informal speeches and say things so bluntly. She asks the head nurse if she doesn't find him annoying. At that moment, our girl walks in with the male lead's lunch. She could hear them talking. The head nurse replies that she doesn't find him annoying. That is rare to see a doctor like him. She continues, saying, "Patients and guardians adore him, that doctors who put patients' need first are hard to come by." Our girl tries to call him to inform him that his lunch have arrived, but at that same moment an emergency patient is brought in that he has to attend to. It's an accident situation. It's a 14-year-old child, and he fractured his leg. He looks at the child. They need to stabilize him before surgery, but his condition looks critical. The nurse tells him that the patient is on cardiac arrest. He immediately informs them to start CPR, that the child has lost too much blood. He immediately starts the chest compressions with passion for the child. Everyone watches him. He just wants to save the child. The doctor in charge tells him to step aside, but he refuses. He continues the compression. He doesn't want to give up. He wants to save him no matter what. He begs the child to live. He continues, sweating profusely. He checks the lifeline pulses again. The child had chance to survive. If you're eager for the next chapter, drop a comment expressing your interest in a part 2. Don't forget to subscribe and ensure to hit the notification bell to stay updated. Until next time.